Hello, everybody. We are back today with another 3x3 training session. This one is with Mira, who has an 1188 average of 5, which we're going to be taking a look at. So if any of you at home want to get a session, you can go to the link at the top of the description, or you can use !get in the chat, and Nightbot will put the link for you. So let me just send the call link to Mira, and then we will get started. And this will be a half-hour session. So because this is an average of 5, so here we go. We just need to wait for Mira to go to the link, and we will be all set. So hello to Ace Force 18 in the chat and everybody else who's watching. And also, if you want to take a look at the solves themselves that I'm looking at here, the link to those is in the description as well. The original video was zoomed out pretty far, so I downloaded it, zoomed it in like you see here, and then just re-uploaded it unlisted onto this channel. Hey.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So I zoomed in on your solves. You can see that too, right?
Yeah.
And then we can take a look at them. So first, I'll go through at full speed on each one, and then go through in slow motion and point out anything I see.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any time and ask whatever it is.
Sure.
Okay, great. So this was an 1188 average of 5. Is that about what you usually average?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's the first solve. And I'm guessing you do white and yellow?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Sorry, it's so blurry.
No, I zoomed it in this far, and that's why it's blurry, but it's fine. It's good enough that we can still see what's going on. So that 1.3, and then let's go back here. Yeah, I went too far. Okay, here we go. So you're doing yellow cross here. So right there, I'm not sure if you were planning some sort of X cross thing, but it looked like you did sort of a U prime, U, and then put down your last cross edge there. So I'm not sure if you were planning an X cross or something like that. Do you know what was going on?
I was probably just trying to keep one of the F12 pieces in the top layer to make the first pair easier, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I see then you go straight into this green and orange. So you break those up and then connect them, and that's all really good. You rotate and insert it into the back. That's all really good. And then, let's see. So then you're solving green and red. So if we go back a little bit. Your green and red it's kind of hard to see, but it's in the back here. So what you do is you take it out and then do this RU to R prime to separate, which I can understand, like, if you didn't see that at first, which is actually probably what happened. But what you can do is just do a double back sexy to connect those or set them up, and then just insert them straight away, and that's just a few less moves. So can you kind of visualize that?
Yeah, it's a little
And,
hard to see, but
yeah,
yeah.
and so then there, both of your pair options are pretty easy. You've got blue and red right here, and then blue and orange. You do blue and orange, cube rotate, insert those. That's good. And then you've got this pair, and you solve that really well. And except for that second, except for the pause in between the first and second pairs, your look ahead there was pretty good as well. So then you do the soon, and then you get this R perm. And I saw when I was looking at this earlier that you use this L prime U2 alg, which like it is okay, but I think that like the RUF or RUD algorithms for that R perm are faster. And if you want, I can send you those algs or something after this.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I saw you got that I think twice in this average, and that R perm is just rough when you have that algorithm. It can get kind of lucky. So overall, that was a pretty good first solve.
Okay.
Okay, so then for this one, yeah, white definitely looks easier than yellow on this one. If we just take a look, what did you do here? Okay, and you got 1280.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. Okay, so just looking at this cross, so I'm gonna see if I can find a. So you've got your blue edge right here, and it's kind of hard to see. You've got your red edge right here, and then your green edge is on this layer in the back. So if you have green in front, what you can do is R to insert your green, F prime to insert red, and then D prime to align everything, and then R2 to solve the orange. And that would solve this cross in 4 moves.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, cross can be kind of difficult for that, and I might just be seeing the pieces wrong, but I think that's what you could do in this situation. And that would also set up this green and red pair pretty well.
Oh,
But
yeah, I see it now.
yeah. So let's see what you did. I think you just solved the red. Yeah, you solved just the red, and then you went and finished everything else off. So that was all right, but of course, there's not like I think the 4 move cross would have been better. So then let's see. You have your green and red pair right here. So you break that up, connect it. And that's the second time in this average that you've done a really good job of connecting a pair like that, even when it's not over its center. And that's something I still struggle with, so that's really nice. So you insert that, and then let's see, what pair do you do? Okay, you go into blue and orange, and that was really good. And I can see that sets up your green and orange. You didn't quite spot that, but the way you solved blue and red was still good. And now you've got this. So you're at the point where you're averaging, I don't know, mid-high 11, going for sub 11, and then later sub 10. Where when you have these sort of easy F2L cases, it should be sort of easy and intuitive to look ahead between them. And so that it should be almost like subconscious, like, or like mindless, the way you look ahead like that. I'm not sure how much of a habit look ahead like that is for you yet? Like, how do you think you are when it comes to look ahead?
I guess it really depends on the type of pairs. Like if I have a weird cross or something, then I have a longer pause after it.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I'm just pointing out like that your F2L there was relatively simple, and that's sort of the case where you should take advantage of that and be able to look ahead really well. And you did pretty well. You just could do a little bit better. And then you've got your anti-soon, a little bit locky, but that's fine. And then you got this end perm, and that I can't do this algorithm, but it's definitely the better one. So good for you for using that.
Thanks.
So let's so that was 1280, and I think the only reason that was slower is because of some of the lockups right here on your. I went back. See, yeah, you're turning really fast, and I think that might be like if you turn just a tiny bit slower, that look ahead will be really easy. Then right here, you lost a little bit of time just locking up on OLL, and I think that's the main issue with your solve there. So then that was 1280, and now we're on your third solve. Yeah, that was a good solve, but you're turning really, really fast. So let's take a look here. So you did another white cross, and I think this is another really easy one. You do D prime to move over the green, RL to insert orange and red, and then I'm not sure where blue is. But let's see what you do here. So you do. So that still works really well, and it looks like you did some stuff in the middle there to preserve an F2L pair. And then, so let's see what F2L pair you were doing there. Actually, yeah, that was really good because I can tell you planned out this pair, your green and orange pair, in inspection, and you did that really well.
I usually can't plan out full pairs.
Yeah, that being able to do that is really, really good and really important. So that's a very good habit to have. So let's see, what do you do next? Then you do green and red, and that was very good as well. And you go straight into this blue and orange. Your efficiency almost all the time is really on point. So that was very good. And then you've got this. A few extra U moves there, but that's not a huge problem. And you solve that. So very nice F2L there. Then you've got this OLL. And you do that well. And then a very nice U-perm. And it looks like with your F2L and with your last layer and stuff, you've got a lot of good habits already established. And so that's definitely helping you a lot.
That's with the help of your videos.
Huh, thank you. Happy to help. So just looking at this again, so I went back a little bit too far, but so yeah, it's clear that you saw that first pair really quickly and just went into it. But yeah, you're turning really fast. You're turning really fast and your efficiency is really good. So even though that was a really good solve, I think in general, if you just relax your turning a little bit, that will allow your look ahead to develop a little bit more. And that
Okay.
becomes really useful and really important as you're pushing for sub 10.
Would you say
So,
that's my main problem so far?
I'd say, yeah, and that's not even like that huge of a problem. It's just like the rest of your solve is really solid. So this is the main thing that you can improve on, is just relaxing your turning a little bit so you can look ahead a bit more. And a lot of that is taking advantage of easy situations, like I pointed out on the first solve, or no, on the second solve. And if there's more complicated stuff, like we'll see if there's more complicated stuff that I can point out later when it comes to look ahead. But being able to just track simple pairs should become intuitive as you're approaching sub 11 or sub 10. And if you start turning a little bit more slowly, that can allow that to happen.
Okay.
Okay. So this is solve 4. Okay, and you got an 1153. So let's see what happened there. Yeah, and we're blazing through this just because there's not as much stuff to point out. So let's see. For your white cross, of course, I can't really see exactly what you did, especially like not without the scramble, but that looked like it wasn't too many moves, so that looks pretty good. Okay, let's see. What was that first pair? So let's see. I'm trying to let's what did you do there? I'm having trouble like processing it. So you're doing green and orange. Okay, so I see what you did there. So you have your green and orange edge here and corner here. So you do L prime UL to to knock over the corner and move everything over. Connect it with RU to R prime and then solve it. But which now that I think about it, isn't that bad. But what I would have done for this pair is U prime, and then I would have cube rotated to the left and done LU to L prime to connect it, and then just insert it in the back. And
I probably just panicked here.
Yeah, and like when it comes to panic solutions, that one's not too bad, but of course everything counts. So then here you looked ahead pretty well. You see that pair right away, and you solve that. And then here, let's see what you did. So you've got green and red in the back here. Okay, here's something I can point out is that, let's see, did I go back far? Okay, so again here, when you have your edge is in its slot, your corner's right here, you can move the corner over the slot and do triple back sexy from this angle or from any angle, and it will solve that pair. And that's just more efficient than what you did, where you sort of take it out and then realign everything. So instead of doing R prime U R and then U2 R U2 R prime, what I would do, let's go back from this position, is U prime R prime U R 3 times.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and that will solve that pair in the back. But that's the first real efficiency issue I've seen in yourself. So that's probably just like, that might be another panic thing, or it just might be something you haven't learned. Oh yeah, and then here's another thing. With this last pair, you've got your corner here, your edge here, and I'm not sure if you could tell, but you're going to have to cube rotate for this pair no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can do a Y rotation and do L prime UL and then U2 and insert the pair. Or you can do U2 and then a Y rotation and do L prime U prime L to connect the pair. So I'm not sure exactly what you were trying to do here by solving them like that. I'm not sure if you were trying to delay having to cube rotate or something like that.
I'm not really sure either.
Yeah, but so I think with this one, a lot of those pairs might have been sort of panic decisions. I'm not really sure, but that's something you can work on. And then you've got this OLL, you do that pretty well. And then you get a J perm.
Not the best recognition.
Well, I mean, with the J perm, it's kind of difficult because it looks the same from a lot of the sides with all the blocks. I mean, you can recognize what angle it's from just by looking at it, but I can't exactly explain how. I just somehow do it like instinctively. And if you, so like, was your issue with recognition there the angle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because of course it's easy to recognize that you have a J perm just from all the blocks, but getting the angle right takes some practice, and then so does getting the AUF right. But I think you did that well here. And so overall 1153, and on that solve the look ahead was a bit better, I think, and I can double check that, but the efficiency was a little bit lacking because of, I'm not sure if it's because of that or you just were panicking a little bit.
I feel like my efficiency is generally not as good as it should be.
I mean, on your first 3 solves, your efficiency looked really good. I'm not sure if that's fully representative of your solves, but I'm assuming so. And then I'm assuming that here you're just panicking a little bit. But I'm pretty sure that you know the efficient solution to every pair. It's just being able to do it in solves when you're going fast. Like
I think so.
Yeah, and so what you can do to sort of practice that is do untimed solves where in between each F2L pair you really think about what solution you're doing to make sure it's the best one. That's sort of the best way to train your efficiency, especially since you already know the correct solutions anyway.
Okay.
So that was 1153. And I think part of it there was on that solve you were there. So there's sort of 3 parts to it. There's the turning speed, look ahead, and efficiency. And on your first 3 solves, you had turning speed and efficiency, but not quite as much look ahead. And then on your fourth solve, you had the turning speed and look ahead, but not quite as much efficiency.
Yeah.
And sort of the challenge is getting all three at once. So let's see what happened on this last one. Ooh, that R perm was a bit rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that happened to me a lot before I learned the other R perm algorithms. It's a struggle. So let's see what you did here. So I'm not, before we see what you did, just looking at this, you've got your red edge here, orange here, blue's right here, and then green is on the bottom and the back. So here you actually have another 4 mover. What you can do is R prime to move down red, D aligns green and red, and then F to solve orange, and R2 to solve blue. And I don't think that's what you did. Let's take a look. So it looks like you did something kind of similar. It's just that you sort of saved dealing with green for the end. So it's sort of it's a good idea to keep an eye out for these quick solutions that sort of solve all the pieces at the same time. And that can be really helpful, especially for cross. But cross is difficult in general.
Yeah.
So I think first you see this blue and red pair. Let's see what happened there. Okay, so I see the corner's down here, so you connect it, and then you see where it goes, and then you insert. That's good. And then I think you have a pair. Yep, you spot that pair. That was good. And let's see what happened here. Okay, what? I mean, I think that was fine. Let me just double check what you did there. So you've got your corner down. I'm having trouble sort of tracking what you were doing at the beginning there, but the way you ended this solution seems fine. Then you cube rotate, solve that. So what? I've never seen that algorithm before. What is that?
Yeah, that's a VHLS case.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I need to learn. Okay, so let's. Okay, so you've got the only edges that are oriented are this one and this one, and you do, let's see, wide R prime F R, insert the pair, and then U prime M prime. Ugh.
No, it's a M and then inverse sexy U prime M prime.
Okay, so let me. So okay, I'm not gonna spend more time of the session learning that, but I need to check that out later. That's awesome, and it sets you up really nicely for the soon case here. And then, just unfortunately, you get this rperm. And again, I can send you this algorithm later.
Oh yeah, I messed up that part.
Yeah, I mean, it's left-handed, so that just makes it tough. You do the AUF well, but unfortunately, that was a 14. But overall, I think you're doing really well. It's just the only thing you need to work on is getting to the point where you can have the turning speed, the look ahead, and the efficiency all at once. But I'd say if you can, at the moment, if you can only have 2 of those things, I'd go for probably efficiency and look ahead, and then let the turning speed come gradually. So,
Okay.
like I was saying, you don't have to do like full-on slow turning to improve your look ahead, but if you do sort of chill, relaxed turning, like not necessarily while you're doing like super serious practice, but just do relaxed turning solves, even untimed if you want, and just try to train your look ahead and not pause. That can be really helpful. And that's actually what I'd say is your main weakness that you should work on.
Look ahead, okay.
Yeah. So if you have, do you have any questions or anything?
I guess one thing. So you saw during the cross, sometimes I like take a few extra moves to bring an F12 piece into the top layer, but then sometimes I do that and then I spot a better F12 case and I do that instead, so it ends up in wasted moves. Is that a bad habit that I should kind of?
I'd say unless you see something unbelievably easy, it's best to stick to what you plan during your inspection so you don't get caught off guard.
All right.
Because of course, like if I'm doing cross and I plan out like a really tough F2L pair, but then during cross I see that I have a pre-made pair in the top layer, I'm definitely going to go for that. But I only do that if it's way easier and I know that I can look ahead to adjust for it.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think it's best to stick to what you have planned and then maybe keep whatever you saw in mind so you can go to it after you finish your first pair.
All right.
All right. So thanks for coming on here.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. If you have any questions, you know where to contact me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Yep, bye.
Bye.